Beneath those blinding arena lights, the air in the gym feels charged, sticky with sweat and anticipation. Every dribble clashes like a thunderclap. Every squeak of sneakers echoes with possibility. But it's not the X's and O's that have tongues wagging. It's the undercurrent of a seismic rumor. LeBron James, the king of the court, is scripting one last Hollywood blockbuster by returning to Miami. And he's bringing Bronny along for the ride. Imagine the two of them stepping onto that neon-drenched hardwood in South Beach, igniting the flame that turns every timeout into a spark and every fast break into a wildfire. You can sense it in every stunned sideline huddle. Feel it in the hush. That falls when someone glances toward the locker room door ajar, just enough to let out fragments of those what-if strategy sessions that could rewrite NBA history. Insiders swear this is more than idle chatter. They describe it as a seismic rift ready to reshape not one, not two, but three entire franchises. And the mother of all twists? The real game changer is waiting just beyond that threshold, poised to drop a bombshell no one sees coming. And it's set to send shockwaves months from now, right when the world thinks it's caught its breath. So buckle in, hit that like button, like it's the buzzer beater of the offseason. Smash subscribe. And ring that bell so loud it drowns out the echoes of past seasons. Because what's about to unfold is pure, unfiltered chaos. Picture this, the Miami Heat, still reeling from a brutal 37-45 campaign that saw them scrape into the playoffs as a 10 seed only to be swept. Now staring down an existential crisis. Heat culture, defined by grit and tenacity, suddenly stands at a crossroads. Cling to the past or embrace a blockbuster reboot. Enter LeBron, whose Lakers tenure may be winding down, but whose hunger for that final ring still burns hotter than the Florida summer. He's not walking into the sunset, he's charging into the arena, ready to torch everything in his path one last time. And he's not alone. Bronny, fresh off his own roller coaster rookie year, with flashes of brilliance and glimpses of his father's DNA, brings a raw, untamed spark that only deepens the intrigue. Can you feel the electricity in the stands as he cuts his teeth in professional arenas, learning on the fly, every possession a notch in his coming-of-age saga? Together, father and son become a living legend, a storyline too big for any scriptwriter to invent. Imagine the Miami faithful chanting LeBron, Bronny, in perfect unison. The duo's chemistry forging a new identity for the franchise one that blends the wisdom of a 20-year veteran with the fire of his prodigal heir. Now pivot to Los Angeles, where the Lakers are reeling from the potential departure of their icon. They're in emergency mode, scrambling to pivot from a Lebron-led dynasty to a post-LeBron future centered around Luka Doncic, the Slovenian phenom whose vision and scoring prowess have dazzled the league. But even Luka needs help. Enter Lauri Markkanen, the stealthy sharpshooter from Utah, whose deadly three-point stroke and smooth, mid-range game could provide the spacing Luka has been begging for. Pair him with Andrew Wiggins, the defensive juggernaut whose playoff pedigree and lockdown ability bring a toughness the Lakers have desperately missed, and suddenly the purple and gold have a blueprint for relevance beyond simply Luka or bus. Feel the buzz as front office execs pour over film of Markkanen curling off screens, Wiggins shadowing the league's top wings, and Doncic orchestrating every possession with surgical precision. It's a tantalizing vision, a new Big Three designed to usher in a fresh era in L.A. Meanwhile, in Salt Lake City, the Jazz are playing chess, not checkers. They've endured their toughest season in years, and the rebuild blueprint is unfolding in real time. They've shipped out Markkanen for salary relief, but they've also scooped up Terry Rozier, an experienced scorer who can ignite any second unit, and Rui Hachimura, whose blend of physicality and touch at the rim adds depth up front. They've even secured a promising young guard named Dalton Knecht, whose lightning-quick first step and mature shot creation could surprise skeptics. And the haul doesn't stop there. 2 future 2031 first-round picks from Miami and LA, plus a precious second-round swap in 2027, now sit in their draft chests like Dragon's Hoard. Imagine Utah's front office, eyes gleaming, calculating how this treasure trove could fuel an aggressive return to contention. It's the ultimate long game. Dump salary, stack picks, reload the roster with hungry young talent, and strike when the time is right. In this swirling vortex of power shift, everyone gains something, but the stakes couldn't be higher. Picture Eric Spoelstra's grin as he surveys his revamped backcourt. LeBron barking orders in full command, Bronny absorbing wisdom from the sidelines, and the Eastern Conference bracing for an inferno. Feel the tension in Cowboy Stadium as rival G-Miz fume over their cap sheets, knowing that Jimmy Butler and Bam Adebayo will soon be flanked by a James legacy too loud to ignore. Then switch coastlines. Imagine Lakers Nation clutching their pearls as the front office juggles phone calls with Vegas, crunching numbers to fit Markkanen's contract, Wiggins' extension, and Doncic's supermax all under one roof. The whispers of ban and tax penalties swirl like Hollywood gossip, but they're betting on one thing, a blueprint that keeps them relevant long after the LeBron era fades. And while all this blockbuster maneuvering dominates the headlines, there's an undercurrent, a secret clause buried in the fine print about Bronny's developmental timeline. Can he step speedily into the NBA's brutal physicality, or will the Heat need to manage his minutes like a precious resource? Will cap constraints force LeBron into an abbreviated cameo, glimpsed in select matchups rather than week in, week out? That whispered conversation may be the ultimate deal maker or deal breaker when the dust finally settles. So what unfolds next? Will LeBron's return spark Heatles 2.0, a father and son tag team rewriting the finals narrative? Will the Lakers engineer that perfect Doncic, Markkanen, Wiggins triumvirate and roar back to title contention? Can Utah's vault of picks and savvy role players propel them from basement dwellers to dark horse threats? Remember, this isn't some fantasy free agency draft. Sources whisper that front offices have already begun covert calls, that agents are warming up negotiating tables, and that a domino effect is primed to catch every franchise off guard. The echoes of LeBron's last Lakers whistle, the looming Miami blockbuster, and Utah's silent resurgence converge into a tapestry of drama so rich it rivals any Hollywood epic. Brace yourselves, Hoops fans, because this multifaceted saga is just warming up. And when that next bombshell drops, it won't just shift the balance of power. It will redefine the very soul of the NBA. See you at tip-off, where every whisper becomes a roar, and every move could be the one that changes everything. If your blood isn't boiling like molten gold running through purple veins, then you're not locked in, because the seismic tremors swirling around LeBron's Miami Odyssey and the Lakers' desperate Luka's salvation are about to shake the whole NBA like a powder keg blowing sky high. And man, your heart stumping like it's dodging haymakers in the paint. Brace yourself, because we're about to detonate the next play. And trust me, this isn't some off-court cocktail chatter. It's a blitzkrieg of power moves brewing in the shadows of Staples, South Beach, and the Jazz Salt Flats that's rewriting legacies and testing loyalties hard enough to split locker rooms wide open. Picture this, the Lakers after years of feasting on Showtime Ghost, the Shaq Kobe Thunder, and the Bubble Banner Miracle, suddenly caught in this maddening stew of what's next. The whispers aren't just about LeBron stepping back into Heat culture with Bronny riding shotgun. They're about LeBron scripting his final act, a father-son coronation blaze, and LA feeling the sting of its king slipping through there. Grasp while the Luka Doncic era is still in its infancy. Hungry and raw, but achingly thin on real help enter Lauri Markkanen. Utah's steady sharpshooter carving his way through silenced doubters like a heat-seeking missile. And Andrew Wiggins, the defensive juggernaut with that playoff grit sealing cracks on the perimeter. It's a gambit that makes sense, right? But imagine the pressure cooker moments heating up backstage Pelinka on the warpath, juggling salary cap infernos, maniacally dialing Vegas and globetrotting, trying to turn these puzzle pieces into a living, breathing contender before Lebron's twilight morphs into dusk. Now, just feel the sweat-slicked arena air. Smell the popcorn mingle with that raw adrenaline as fans scream and silence falls like thick fog every time locker room doors creak. Each one a secret confessional of anxiety, ambition, or betrayal. And hold up, because there's a twist no headlines ready for. Bronny's developmental curve isn't just a factor. It's the linchpin threatening to blow this all wide open. What if fitting the king and his errand waiting onto the Heat? Roster means painful compromises? Chemistry questions that echo deeper than a Staples chant? That whispered clause about luxury tax limits and max contracts suddenly feels like a noose tightening around every front office, binding Miami, LA, and Utah in this high-stakes triangle of power and promise. Picture Spoelstra's grin, not just nostalgia for LeBron's prime, but a shark eyes. Calculation of a newly anointed Heat machine reloading for a dance-off with underdog Knicks and Magic, hungry to carve out their own legends with Boston and Indiana limping through injuries like wounded giants. But flip it back west, will Lakers Nation accept a Luka Wiggins marketing mix as salvation or mutiny? Imagine the crackle of tension when a D, the iron-willed colossus who's battled pain and praise under the spotlight's merciless glare, faces this new alignment. Is trust fracturing in purple and gold? Could this be the last stand or a bold rebirth? And don't forget the vultures circling the Nuggets, sniffing through our chaos. Phoenix's swagger thick as desert heat ready to drown out Lakers' noise. Clippers honing their jaws like scavengers, and those Warriors ghosts from the Bay still, thirsting for battle beneath their golden rings. The Western Gauntlet grows darker, the margins thinner, and every possession feels like tipping point physics. The coiled slinky primed to snap and scatter dreams across the hardwood. Now, what if Utah's calculate rebuild their stash of future picks and rising role players like Terry Rozier, Rui Hachimura, and Dalton neck spins from quiet to savage? A slow-burning inferno that turns their worst season fates into a loaded rocket ready to blast off and wrestle the West crown from fading dynasties? And here's the clincher. This is more than commerce. It's chess with live grenades. Pelinka's juggling spreadsheets and late-night calls isn't just about money. It's about identity, a pivot from LeBron's storied reign to the Luka era's raw hunger with just enough veterans to steady the ship without weighing it anchor deep. Now picture the murmurs in Lakers locker rooms, frustration simmering like a pressure cooker about missed shots, defensive lapses, and the impossible weight of expectations crushing the shoulders of every kid in purple and gold who grew up dreaming of banners, rings, and immortality. But wait, there's one clause buried in that tangled trade web that few outside the room have sniffed out. A contract condition or roster complication that could slam the brakes or slam down the gas pedal on the biggest blockbuster of this NBA era. What if it's Bronny's minutes, his development timeline, or a subtle nod to LeBron's lingering Lakers loyalty that pulls this all into chaos? Could the Heat's renaissance sputter before it starts? Will Utah's bonfire of picks become a blaze of success or just ash on the floor? And what about the Lakers? When Luka explodes on the playoffs that really matter, with Markkanen finding space like a sniper and Wiggins locking down paths, is this the blueprint to untangle the madness? Or are we staring down another season loss amidst speculation, heartbreak, and fading cheers? If you just slammed your controller down when that last free throw clanged off, keep it clutch. You're diving deeper into the storm where every sideline scuttlebutt is snake venom, every front office whisper of potential, earthquake, and every fan's pulse is a ticking bomb. The clock's not just ticking. It's roaring and exploding in time to a symphony penned by LeBron's last acts, Luka's rookie burns, and the silent tsunami of Utah's pick hoarding. It's a space where history meets hustle, and where every missed shot is a call to arms, every trade rumor a rally cry, and every headline an ambush designed to tear apart or stitch together the fabric of franchises starving for glory. Now imagine the fallout if the Heat's heat. Culture gets resurrected not with vets and resilience alone, but with a dynasty-in-waiting father-son tandem that rewrites what loyalty means. Picture Lakers devotees torn between mourning LeBrons exit and rising behind their Slovenian prodigy, backed by sharpshooters and stalwart defenders while Utah engineers. The comeback story of the decade sitting on a mountain of futures. The heavy silence in locker rooms, the cracking ice of trust, the whispered, "What if?" that hangs like a guillotine. The fan bars erupting, the timeline compressing. Every story wired with the electric tension that only basketball at the highest level can deliver. And as the neon lights flicker and fade over arenas across the country, one truth burns through the noise, a truth that could shatter or sculpt destinies. This war of wills between LeBron's Miami vision, the Lakers' desperate blueprint, and Utah's silent storm isn't close to over, it's just getting started. So as a Laker till I draw my last breath, here's the storm I swear is coming. Now you tell me what's tearing at your gut. Because trust me, this saga has only just ignited.